Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Today we are going to be going through a whole step-by-step tutorial on how to run Google Ads for your auto detailing business. It's going to be a long video. I'm going to go step by step through everything. So, make sure you go through every single step in the process. It's all very, very important to make sure you get good results. And at the end of the day, the goal here is not just to get you clicks and impressions and all that kind of stuff. It's to get people picking up the phone, calling your business, submitting lead forms, become a lead, and to help you grow your business, to get an actual profitable campaign. And that's what we're going to cover today. So if you're new here, my name is Chris, and what I do is I just talk about all things Google Ads. So like I've already talked about, we're doing auto detailing today. So if you want to learn more about Google Ads, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's just kind of jump right in. So what we're going to cover today, again, this is going to be step by step. We are going to be covering, so what I'm going to be doing is mainly mobile auto detailing, but you can take the same concepts, apply it to your shop. You just won't bid on mobile auto detailing keywords. So we're going to cover campaign structure, keyword research, landing pages, conversion tracking, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to try and be as efficient as possible, but this video is going to take a little while. So why should you listen to me? I've been doing Google Ads for a while. These are just a few screenshots of results, but to kind of back it up even a little bit more, if you go over to my channel, you can see other case study videos where I can walk you through other campaigns, other instructional videos for auto detailing. So plenty to kind of share when it comes to the auto detailing space, when it comes to Google Ads, all that kind of stuff. So the first thing we're going to get into, so we're not just wasting time here, we're going to start with just setting up our Google Ads account. If you already have one set up, you can just skip this step. But the first thing you're going to need to do if you don't have an account set up is you're going to go to ads.google.com and set one up. So let's jump over there. All right, so now we are over on the Google Ads website. In order to get here, you're going to go to ads.google.com. So if you already have an account, like I said, you can skip this step, but if you don't have an account, you're going to go to ads.google.com. The page is going to look something like this. There's a good chance they're probably going to update this. They update things on like a weekly basis, so it might look a little different, but there should be some kind of like a start now button. Hit that, go through all the steps they have you do. You're probably going to have to put in your card info and set up like a really basic campaign. Once you do that, you can just set it to like $1 a day or something like that and just pause it. And we're going to go through setting things up in a better way moving forward. One really important thing to keep in mind though is when you do set up a new account, pretty much always they're set up in smart mode. This used to be called Google Ads Express. Essentially, this is a more simplified version of Google Ads. And what we want to do is we want to switch over to expert mode. So that's going to give us all of the tools and features that we need to make a campaign perform consistently over the long term. So I have heard sometimes that smart mode campaigns, they can work decently. I've heard they can work well for a couple months or so, and then they sort of drop off. I rarely ever have had that kind of issue with expert mode. So make sure you switch your campaign over to expert mode. You're just going to find this icon in the back, and I'll actually link this support page down in the description. So if you need to switch over to expert mode, there's a quick little Google help thing that you can follow. So make sure once you get all that set up, switch it over to expert mode. And then we are going to jump into just a test account that I have, and I'm going to go through setting up the campaigns, getting all the settings put together, and all that good stuff. All right, now that you have your account set up and you should be switched over to expert mode by this point, you should see a screen that looks something like this. So what we want to do is we want to create a new campaign. So we're just going to run through this campaign setup really quick. We don't need it to be perfect, so we're going to go back into the settings and then change some stuff later. But what you want to do, go to your campaigns tab right here, click campaigns. You should see a little blue plus sign right there, or plus sign right here. Just click that, hit new campaign, and then we're going to select one of two things. It doesn't really matter. So you can select leads or create a campaign without a goals guidance. I've just been selecting leads recently. Go to search. We only want to do search campaigns. If we kind of go through these, you mainly want to do search because that's going to put your ad at the top of the actual Google search results. I probably wouldn't mess around with Performance Max right now. I know Performance Max can work well if you are selling products, you're in e-commerce, things like that. I've heard mixed results on local, Display you don't want to mess with if you're trying to generate leads locally. What's going to happen is it's going to show your ads all over different kind of websites. So it could be on like news websites, all that sort of stuff. You want to skip that. Select search because you want your ads to just be shown as text ads in Google search results. And we'll go kind of more deep into that later. You can skip these two things right now because we are going to set up our conversion actions later. And this is going to be super important further down the line. Once we're just about done with our campaign, you want to set these up later on because this is going to be how you track conversion. So a conversion is who picked up the phone and called, who submitted a lead form, who called a phone number on an ad. You want to be able to track all of that because if you're not tracking that, you're not going to be able to know, what's working and what's not working on your campaign. You're going to need all of that set up later on to be able to optimize your campaign. So we'll skip that for now. We'll come back to it later and just call your campaign name, really whatever you want. I'm just going to call it detailing campaign and just hit continue. Just going to hit start new. And so bidding, what we want to do is when we begin our campaign, especially if you have a new account, you want to start with a clicks-based bidding strategy. And again, we're just going to run through this setup really quickly because we're going to go back to our settings and change some things as we get going. So right now, I'm just going to select clicks, set a maximum cost per click limit. I'm just going to set this to like $3.47 for right now. I'll go into a little bit later how to figure out what your cost per click is in your market, but we'll just start with that. And the reason why we want to start with clicks, by the way, is you want to get clicks into the campaign, and then as you track those conversions, Google's going to kind of learn who to show your ad to, and then further down the line, you want to switch it to a conversion-based bidding strategy. So once you have like 20 or 30 conversions, you can switch it to a conversion-based bidding strategy. But you start with clicks just because the campaign doesn't have any data. So do that. I'm going to hit next. All right, so this is really important here. So in the campaign settings, you want to uncheck display network. So do not include Google Display Network. You can leave search partners in for right now. And one thing that's important is you want to make sure, and I'll cover later on how to see if search partners is working or not. Leave it in for right now. You can easily turn it off later. Essentially what this does is it will show your ad on other kind of similar websites. So search network is obviously just going to be right in Google search, but there could be other types of websites that Google can display your ad on. And sometimes this can work and just generate a couple extra cheap leads a month. So wouldn't worry about it too much. In certain niches, I turned it off right off the bat. In detailing, I haven't seen much of an issue, so you can just kind of leave it on. Locations. So right now, I'm just going to set up a simple location. And once we get through this campaign setup, I'm going to show you how to do it better. But right now, I'm just going to hit this little enter another location, go to advanced search, and then I'm over in Seattle. I'll say, let's do Bellevue, Seattle. I'll kind of build a campaign around that area. So I'm just going to target that for now. And then we will move on. And then this is also really important right here. If you click on location options, you only want to have people in or regularly in your targeted locations. Because if you have presence or interest, you could have somebody that is in like the other state searching for your market. And if you serve them locally, it's obviously going to be useless if somebody calls you from another state. So presence, people in or regularly in your targeted locations. The reason why you want to set this up properly is, again, you don't want people calling you from out of state, but it's just important that you try to kind of rein Google in a little bit. Like, this isn't going to be perfect. Sometimes there could be some people that are a little bit outside of your radius, but you want to try and make sure you're getting leads locally as much as possible. And then under exclude here, you want to go presence or interest, people in, regularly in, or who've shown interest in your excluded locations. So again, you want to constrain Google, don't want them showing your ads all over the place. And again, we'll come back to this in just a little bit. Languages, set on English. Obviously, if you operate in other languages like Spanish or something like that, you can drop that in here as well. Don't worry about this. If you go into more settings, ad rotation, leave it as this, prefer best performing ads. And then if you go down to ad schedule, right here, this is where you can set a time frame for your ads. So what I recommend is make sure that you are setting it during times when you know you can answer a phone call. I've seen some people just leave it, open, and I don't recommend that unless you want to wake up at 2 a.m. to get to a lead or something like that. I usually just set it to kind of regular business hours. So I'm going to set this to, let's say, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., I guess we'll go with. So the reason why I do that is typically if you are kind of on the job, you're doing your thing, let's say you're detailing a car, during those hours you should be able to get to a phone call. I think things might be a little bit chaotic, but you don't want somebody calling you at like 10 p.m. at night or something like that. So I usually do Mondays to Fridays. If you want to add Saturdays in there, you can. It's totally up to you. For the sake of this campaign, I'm just doing Mondays to Fridays. So anything else here? No. So just hit next. And it's going to force you to set up an ad group and ads and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to make something simple and then just pause it right afterwards. So right in here, you're going to enter your keywords. Now this is also really important. I'll kind of do a quick rundown on keyword match types. You see right down here, keyword, broad match, phrase match, exact match. You only want to do phrase match like this and exact match. So for the sake of this, and we'll go through this again, we're going through finding keywords. I'll just put in like auto detailing, and then I'll do an exact match, auto detailing. So whenever I'm building a campaign, I will take whatever the keyword is, I'll do it phrase match, I'll do it exact match. Now, the definitions of these match types has kind of changed over the years. So phrase match, it used to just be like whatever search has that phrase in it. So if it has auto detailing in it somewhere, they'll display the ad for it. Now there's a lot more wiggle room. It'll kind of show it for that phrase, but also things that are slightly a bit like kind of a variation of it. But it'll still be within the realm of auto detailing. Exact match auto detailing used to be just, hey, if it says auto detailing in the search term, like that's the exact keyword that somebody typed in, will show the ad for that. Now it kind of does that, but they have a little bit more wiggle room. So it might show for like auto detailing near me or something like that. The reason I don't do broad match is it will show your ad for things that are remotely similar to auto detailing. So your ad could show for anything that's in the automotive space. So it could be like auto repair shops. It could be auto detailing products, and we don't want to show up for that. If we're showing up for people searching for auto detailing products, they're obviously not looking for somebody to detail their car. So we'll touch on that a bit more in depth later, but just drop in a couple keywords because we're going to pause this in a little bit. I'm going to put together just kind of a dummy ad right now. I'll just put in my website for now, and then we're going to drop in a display path. We'll say auto detailing. And again, I'm just running through this real quick because we're going to pause this in a second. It doesn't really matter what we're putting in here. Services, not servicer. Services, auto detailing, Bellevue. Call for a free quote. And we'll go down here, drop in a couple of descriptions. And these are don't copy these. I'm just doing this because I'm going to pause it in a second. And if you want to skip this, by all means, you can skip this. The other car. Call for free quotes. Struggling today. Trucks, SUVs, vans, and more. Call today. Okay, so that is good. Just gonna hit done on that, and then this will allow me to proceed. Daily budget, I am just gonna put this at 1 right now because I don't want this to start spending my spending my money. But for detailing, what I recommend is starting at least with $25 a day. It depends on how competitive your market is. If you're in a more competitive market, like if I was actually running a campaign in Bellevue, just to give you perspective, that's where Bill Gates lives. So it's really, really wealthy. So you're probably going to want to spend more. It's going to be more expensive for a cost per click because everybody's going to want to bid on that market. So if you're in a really competitive high-end market, I would probably say start with like $35 a day. So that's anywhere from like 500 to 750 a month. If you're comfortable spending more, that's cool as well. But for me, I'm just setting $1. So start with like 25 bucks a day to 35 bucks a day should be good. We're going to hit next, and it's going to kind of check for errors and do all that. Hopefully it doesn't take too long here. And it's going to give me a little flag on my budget and say, oh, it's too low and blah, blah, blah. So should be all good. I'm just going to hit publish campaign. And once this is published, I'm just going to go straight to the campaign and pause it. So we're going to go campaigns, and I am just going to pause this campaign because we're going to come back to it later. We're going to go through the settings, how to set all that up properly. And yeah, we'll just kind of jump to the next step. All right, now that we have the campaign set up, we've got it paused. Now what we want to do is we want to go through the campaign settings, get our location targeting set up properly, and just kind of comb through that and make sure all the settings are good before we even start building out the campaign. So let's jump over there and go through the settings. So now you've set up your campaign, and we are going to primarily just go through the location settings and get those set up properly. Once you create the campaign and pause it, if you leave Google Ads and come back to it or kind of switch windows or whatever, there's a chance you just might not even see any campaigns over here. Most likely it is because you have these filters set up. So if you go to the overview tab right here, go to campaign status and just hit all, it should show up over here. So the reason why that happens is if a campaign is paused and you have that enabled filter set up, it'll just hide it. So we want to pull up the pause campaigns. We're going to select our campaign right here. And then what we want to do is we want to go into our settings, and we are going to get our location targeting set up properly. So usually what I do is I'll come through here and I will see, just to kind of make sure everything's good, mainly networks. Sometimes Google can re-enable this, include Google Display Network. If they did, just uncheck it again, hit save. We're good in that case. And everything else looks good. So we're going to go into locations and kind of get this set up properly. So if we go back to advanced search, pretty much what we're able to do, there's a few ways we can target locations. One thing you do is just do a radius. So if you just said, hey, I want to do, 10 miles around Bellevue, type in 10 and then say Bellevue, Washington, boom, it'll just drop a radius right there. The density and population of your area is going to really dictate how wide that targeting needs to be. What I'm going to do, and what I do on a lot of my campaigns, is I actually enter in zip codes, because if you go back to locations here, you can just type in an area. Like I did Bellevue before. If I want to do all of Seattle, I just type in Seattle, hit target. It's the airport. Hit target right here. I don't want to target that area. So what I did is I actually pulled up zip codes that I want to target, and you can target by zip code as well. So I'm not going to bore you putting all these in, but pretty much what you do is if you want to do zip code by zip code, you'd take the zip code, paste it in here. You're going to see it pull up here. Then you can just target it. And then I'm just going to go through the list and do this, and I will resume the video when this is done. All right, so I've got my zip codes put in. This might be a little bit too small of an area, but again, this is just a demo campaign. For yourself, just kind of, if you got to expand it out, expand it out. In this case, I would probably end up expanding it out more, but again, it's just a demo. So I've got my zip codes in there. The next thing we want to do is we want to exclude everything else. So what I do is I will go through, and if you just come up here to your location targeting, I exclude every other state. So I'll literally just go through, type in like Idaho, and then you hit instead of target, exclude. So that way you get this red kind of box around it, and then I go through every single state and I exclude it. Same thing for, let's say, Canada, exclude it. So you want to do every single state. I will do Canada, Mexico. The whole idea with that is when we set up our location targeting before, we set it to exclude people in or show interest in our excluded locations. And we want to also just exclude these. The whole idea with this is we want to prevent Google as much as possible from showing our ads outside of these areas that we want to target. And what I'll do for a lot of campaigns, it might be a little bit overkill, but I will actually look up a county map of a state and then just exclude every other county around my targeting area. just to constrain Google. I don't want the ads showing up outside of the areas that I want to target. So I literally just go through, I exclude everything, all the other states, exclude the counties in the state, so I can really kind of keep Google right here. So again, I'm not going to go through and do that in this entire video. So on your end, go through, exclude all of the states, all the countries, all that kind of stuff. And it's tedious, but do it. It'll help save you some money, prevent some waste on your account. And yeah, we'll move on to the next step. Now, before we go ahead and get keywords together and ads together and all that kind of stuff, we need to talk about landing pages. There's a reason why I put this early on in the video. It's because so many people skip this step. Do not skip this step. Don't, just kind of send the traffic to the homepage of your website, because almost 9 out of 10 times when I see people sending traffic to the homepage of their website, it is not working. You need to convert clicks into leads. And this is really 80% of success with Google Ads, is where you are sending those clicks. Like when somebody clicks on your ad, where are you sending them? If you are just sending them to the homepage of a website, they're not going to pick up the phone. Unless it's very, very well optimized, they're most likely not going to pick up the phone and call you. So you need to send them to landing pages. And I'll show you a quick demo that I put together. But why do we want to send people to landing pages? Again, do not skip this step. There's a reason why I'm putting it now, because I want people to see this step and not skip it. When you do it properly, it can help you double, I've seen it triple conversion rates on accounts. And what a conversion rate is, it's the percentage of clicks that turn into a lead. So when I say a lead, I mean either a phone call or a form fill. Now, home pages, I've seen worse than this, 10%, I've seen 5%. But let's say you're sending 100 clicks to the homepage of your website, you convert 10% of those clicks. That's 10 leads, but that's $35 leads. If you use a landing page and you double that conversion rate, now you're converting 20 leads on 100 clicks. That's 20 leads, $17.50 per lead. And that's at $3.50 a click. So if there's one of the biggest levers you can pull on a Google Ads campaign to make it work better, it is where you're sending the traffic. Again, don't skip this step. I'm going to go over some tools you can use to build landing pages. I'm not going to walk through building a whole landing page, because that is a whole other hour-long video. But I'm going to show you a demo that I put together, show you some tools that you can use, and show you some ways you can do it a lot easier than you might think. So I'm going to go over some of the tools first, some of the landing page builders that you can use, and then I'm going to go through the quick template that I put together. Now, the cool thing with a lot of landing page builders or WordPress themes or anything in that kind of realm is they usually have a lot of templates, and there are a lot of drag and drop builders. They're not super complicated, so you don't know how to code a website or have a bunch of tech knowledge or anything like that. So every single one of these things that I'm going to show you have templates. The first one here is lead pages, and I'm not affiliated with any of these. I'm going to show you what I use in just a little bit, but this one, if you pay monthly, it's $49 a month. You can set up your landing page for $49 a month. And this one is pretty solid. I've used it in the past. You can pretty much do everything you need. And again, they have templates that you can use, and you can see some of the templates they have. And they probably have a ton that you can use. You can go through all of these, find one that works for you. And again, you don't need to learn how to design all of your own stuff. This is one option right here, lead pages. Another one is Landingy. Same kind of thing. A lot of these are pretty much all the same. They all have drag and drop builders. They're going to have templates. And even if they don't have templates, you can just go to Google and look up landing page templates or do a little bit of competitor research. But if you do that, don't click on other people's ads. You can kind of go around and see what other people are doing. Landingy is another. Unbounce is another. This is one. It's a little bit more expensive. I probably wouldn't recommend it if you are just looking to do one for yourself. Again, it starts at $99 a month, and that is probably not, it's monthly. It starts at $99 a month, and that's one that I'd recommend. This is more of an agency kind of thing. Another one that is really, really good is Instapage, but again, this is a bit more expensive, $199 a month. So if you are just getting started, I'd look at something like Landingy, lead pages. But what I use is I actually build all of my stuff on WordPress with a WordPress theme. So it's a little bit more cost effective. The reason I do this is I'm familiar with it, been doing it for a long time, and I know how to use WordPress and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to do it the way I do it, which I wouldn't really recommend it just because it requires a lot of additional knowledge on how the platforms work. But the way I do it, I have a SiteGround account that allows me to host a bunch of different websites on the account. And then I build a WordPress website on there, and I use this theme. Let's get all these pop-ups out of here. I use the Divi theme, and it's very similar to these landing page builders because they have templates and themes and all this kind of stuff that you can tap into. It also has a drag and drop builder, and it does the exact same thing for essentially less money, and I have more clients. It kind of works better for me. Who knows? I might switch over to Instapage at some point, but that's the way I do it. And again, I would look into these builders because it's drag and drop, it's easy, and they have templates you can already tap into. So I would avoid, going down the route of trying to do it all yourself and trying to learn it all. Try and simplify the process for yourself. Like, I know some coding, but I'm not a coding master. So I kind of tap into other people's designs to try and figure out the best ways to build a landing page. Check out some of these, and I'll jump over to that template and kind of give you a rundown of the types of things that you want to have on your page. All right, so I pretty much just slapped this landing page together. The main reason I wanted to show you a landing page is not to say, hey, just take this design, because to be perfectly honest, I have not tested this design. So don't just take this and then think it's going to work. I'm sure it would be fine. But the reason I put this together is I wanted to give you kind of foundational elements that you want to have on a landing page that you can incorporate into your own, and really just to show you it doesn't have to be super complicated. And one of the biggest things I've learned from running Google Ads is sometimes ugly pages work better than complicated pages. The whole idea with a landing page is you want it to be simple, you want it to be easy for somebody to use, get the information they're looking for, and really easy for them to actually get in contact with you. So when you hit this page, the first thing you're going to notice, there is no navigation up here. So when somebody hits a landing page, you don't want to have a bunch of links that can take them to a bunch of different pages or take them off to social media or anything like that, because the biggest challenge with websites is there's so much crap for people to click on. So when somebody hits this page, you want it to be about why they're there, who are you, what do you do, and how can they get in contact with you. It's all about just giving them all the information they need to make a decision, and then from there they can decide whether they want to call you, submit a form, etc. So we'll just run through the sections, and then I'll show you the mobile version as well. So I pretty much always just do logo, call to action up here. Usually I'll have a little bit of text next to it or above it just saying, hey, call for an estimate. The headline on the page, you really want to have it speak to what they were searching for. So you wanted to just say something as simple as, hey, professional auto detailing services, or auto detailing services in this location, or mobile auto detailing services if you're mobile. And then I usually might have something about serving the location, and then I'll just have some benefit points. And this is this design is very landing page 101. It's, hey, you have a headline, a sub-headline, few benefit points about you, and then a way to get in contact. And also, speaking about templates, I literally just pulled this off of a template design that is on the Divi theme. So again, talking about templates, I did not design all of this. I just pulled it from that, and then it swapped in backgrounds and text and all that kind of stuff. So this header part is very, very important, because you want people to hit this page and within 3 seconds know they're in the right place, get a little bit of information, see how to get in contact. You need to kind of knock that out really quick, and it needs to be very, very clear, almost like literal, to the point of like, hey, we're an auto detailing company. We do auto detailing services. You don't want to get all creative like, hey, best services ever or something like that in the headline to say, hey, we're professional auto detailing. Because when somebody hits that page, they just clicked on an ad for auto detailing, they want to see on that landing page, am I in the right place? Like, that's what's going to go through their heads right off the bat, and you want to make sure you call that out first. Then everything else on the page is pretty straightforward. I'll just do some about information, a couple pictures of jobs. These are obviously stock images. And then throughout the page, you want to make sure you're getting calls to action in there. So just call for a free quote, put a button in there. Satisfaction guaranteed. So these are testimonials. On every landing page, you always want to do testimonials. And usually what I'll do is I will go to a client's Google business listing, and I'll just screenshot the Google reviews. The reason why I do that is if you screenshot a Google review, that cannot be faked. Like, people know If it's a screenshot of a Google review, it's an actual review. These are a lot easier to fake. It's not that they don't work. These, just kind of putting the text testimonials in there will work. I screenshot them from either Google or Facebook or whatever, put them on the page that way. But the whole point here is you want to have testimonials on your page, and then another get call to action right here. And you can make these call to action sections. Usually what I'll do is I will make the background a different color so it kind of stands out. But again, you want to have call to actions throughout the page. Another about our services section. So the whole idea with the landing page is you don't need to be some copywriting master. The whole purpose of the page is talking about yourself, how you can help them, how you can solve their problem, and then just driving them to a call to action. And this is a little alternate service section. If you want to do it a different way, you can just kind of drop services with little icons. Again, nothing complicated. Check out our previous work. You can see cars that we've detailed. And these are all you don't have to have all of these sections. At a bare minimum, you'd want to have about us, testimonials, have the calls to action throughout the page, about services. I mean, you could have all of these if you want. If you want to do check out our previous work as well. On landing pages that I'm running, I just kind of have the pictures along with the different about sections, and it works fine. But adding this in as well can also work. And then usually at the bottom of the page, what I will do is I will have a separate call to action section kind of like this that sort of sums it up. And if they hit the bottom, it's like, hey, ready to get your car detailed, book your detail today before our schedule fills up, and then another call to action with a phone number. Or you could have it redirect up to the form. It's all up to you. But the whole idea, again, is keep it simple, keep it very, very clean. Don't have a bunch of distractions. And then on the page, just have one next step for them to take. Don't have 17 different things. And then also another thing that just came to mind, don't try to just drive them to a scheduler. Keep in mind that when somebody is clicking on an ad and they have no idea who you are, they don't know you, they don't trust you, they've never engaged with you before. Just trying to drive them straight to a scheduling system where they pay you right off the bat probably will just not work. So you want to just have them pick up the phone and call you or submit a quote because they're going to want to talk to somebody before they do business with you. They want to make sure they can trust you and that you're going to be a good, reputable company. So have them call for a quote. You can test out putting pricing on the page. I usually don't put pricing on the page just because the whole idea with this is you want to get in conversation with people and not just have people click on a page and leave. So, it could be get a free quote, call for pricing, whatever the call to action might be. So that's the layout. And the other thing that's really important is you want to have it work on mobile. So, it's just important that you double check this, make sure, because a lot of your traffic is going to be mobile. So you want to make sure this all works on mobile, that it's super clean, that it works well, that it's easy to use, and it's all the same kind of information. It just needs to be formatted well on mobile. And a lot of those landing page builders make it super easy. I didn't have to put any extra effort to make it look like this on mobile because the builder that I used does a lot of that formatting for me. So make sure it looks good on mobile. Make sure you have those kind of pieces of information. Again, don't overcomplicate it. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just give people what they're looking for when they hit the page. Make it really easy for them to contact you, and you'll have pretty good success that way. Once you have your landing pages together, it's going to be time to jump back over to the campaign, and we are going to get our keywords together. We're going to get our ad groups together. And then after this, we're going to go through negative keywords, and I'll touch on that as we're going through this. But this is where we're going to actually start building out the campaign, getting the structure of the campaign set up. And let's jump over to the account, and we'll go into the keyword planner. All right, so now we're going to start getting our keywords together for the account. And as we're getting our keywords together, I'm going to be going over ad groups. So essentially on an account, you have your campaign. This is where you set all your settings and your daily budget and all that kind of stuff. Then within a campaign, you have your ad groups, and you want to look at ad groups as a theme, essentially. And this will make a bit more sense as we're going through this, but every single ad group is going to be a different keyword theme. So there's going to be a car detailing ad group, auto detailing ad group. You can do an ad group for ceramic coating, mobile auto detailing, all that kind of stuff. So in order to get to the keyword planner to start looking up keywords, you're going to go up here, and you're probably not going to see it on your end because it's going to be cut off, but there's a little wrench. It says tools and settings. You want to click on that and then go over here to planning and then go to keyword planner right here. When you click on that, you're going to see a page that looks something like this. you want to click on discover new keywords, and I'm just going to drop a few ideas in here. So I'll just put in auto detailing, car detailing, we'll do auto detailing near me, we'll do car detailing near me, and then I'll also throw in mobile auto detailing, and we're going to hit get results. And you're gonna see something that looks like this. If your account is new, there's a chance that these monthly search volumes will just be like a range. But in this case, I have these search volumes, so that might look a little bit different for you. And then another thing to keep in mind is by default, it's targeting the entire United States. So that's showing all the search volume across the United States for those search terms. What I will do is a couple different things. So if I'm trying to figure out rough search volumes, I will target like a wider area. In this case, I want to show you kind of the cost per click stuff. So when it comes to figuring out what to bid for your cost per click, again, we're targeting the Bellevue area. So I'm going to click on this, and if I target just Bellevue, Washington, this isn't going to pull up much search volume because it's only this area. I want to see what the cost per click is looking like. So you can see just by switching to that higher end area, the top of page bid range is $5.26 for auto detailing, $3.64 here. Auto detailing near me is $4. Doesn't mean you're going to pay that much, but you can see kind of the difference. It went up by about $1 just by targeting that area. And that will kind of help you if you target the area that you're looking at. It will help you get an idea of what you need to bid to be a bit more competitive. So in this case, if you were to go back to settings, I would probably up that bid to maybe like $4.57 or something like that, just to be a little bit more competitive. Because if you're bidding too low on your account, your ads just aren't going to be showing up good enough. So you need to be able to bid aggressively enough to get your ad up at the top of the page, get it in front of people, get it clicked on, and that will help you get leads that way. So it's really important that you kind of at least narrow down to see the cost per click. What I'm going to do is I'm going to widen this out a little bit and get kind of a search volume for like kind of the entire area. I'm curious if I can do, I think this is too wide. I'll target Seattle and Bellevue just to get sort of a rough idea of what the search volume is in the general area. It's fine if you just leave it as United States, because the whole idea here is you just want to do keyword research. So what we want to do is, and I should have mentioned this before, but get just like a Google sheet opened up here. We're going to organize our keywords into themes. So what you want to do is you want to go through here and you want to pull out higher intent keywords. So what I mean by that is you want to pull out search terms that are kind of showing some level of intent by the searcher. So going through this, I'm going to pull out auto detailing, and I'm just going to drop auto detailing in a column right here. And this is, as we go through this, going to kind of be our ad groups that are going to take shape. So auto detailing, that is a theme. Car detailing, this is another theme. So if we go like that, car detailing near me, this is a very, very good high intent keyword. So you want to go to click that, auto detailing near me, drop that in under the auto detailing theme. So you can see themes are starting to take place here. Car detailing near me, another very, very high quality keyword. That goes under car detailing. And I'm going to do this for a little while longer. I'm not going to go through all of this and bore you to death. But again, we're kind of going through our keywords. We're finding high quality keywords, mobile auto detailing. So this is going through talking about low quality stuff. We're going to touch on this in a little bit. This is going to be a negative keyword. So when you see something like this, hand car wash near me, you don't want to show up for that. So I'll go over negatives in the next section, but as I'm going through this, I have this other tab right here, negative keywords. I'm going to drop that there because what a negative keyword is, you're essentially telling Google, I do not want to show up for this. You don't want your ads showing up for somebody looking for like a cheap $35 hand car wash near them. So I'm going to take that, drop it in the negatives. We're going to go back here, detailing. This is a little bit broad. I would probably not include that keyword. That is going to be probably not pulling in the kind of traffic that you want. You want, again, things that are high intent that show actual intent that they're looking for detailing. This is another one I'd probably drop in negative. Full service car wash near me. Drop that in there. Detailing near me. So again, this is a little too broad, but when they put in detailing near me, that's a lot better. So I would probably just drop this in like the auto detailing ad group right here. So you got detailing near me, mobile detailing near me. That's really, really good. Mobile detailing near me. Car cleaning near me. I would probably not bid on that because I want to only bid on things that are very clearly saying like, hey, I'm looking for detailing. So I probably wouldn't bid on that. Mobile car wash. You could technically bid on that. They're looking for a mobile service, but keep in mind if you're bidding on that, it's probably going to be a lower value job. So again, mobile car detailing near me, really, really good. Put that in the mobile detailing ad group. Hand car wash, auto spa. So I'm gonna not go through all this. You should have the idea at this point. What you're gonna want to do is just go through all of this. Here's another one, paint correction. This again will be its own ad group. Because, and I probably should have explained this a little bit earlier. Like I said, you have the campaign level, and you're going to have all these different ad groups. So you're going to have auto detailing, car detailing, mobile auto detailing, and think of an ad group like a theme. Every single one of those themes has to have, it's got to be like tightly themed, and then all the keywords within each one of those ad groups are only going to deal with that theme. And then the ads that you're going to create a little later within each one of those ad groups are only going to deal with the keywords you're bidding on. So you're going to have like auto detailing, car detailing, paint correction, ceramic coating. And then another thing you can do is you can pull all those kind of things. It's going to be lower volume, but you can also do like truck detailing, SUV detailing. If you offer it, I know people do search for RV detailing. So that's another theme that you can kind of pull. And then one thing that's really important is geo ad groups. So you're going to have kind of like your more generic stuff right here. But one thing that's really important is you also want to come through here and you want to pull geo ad groups for things like auto detailing, Bellevue, car detailing, Bellevue, and let's see what we get. There should be some search volume there. Yeah, so this is again another ad group, auto detailing Bellevue. You can see the cost for this is not too bad. So these geo ad groups, you're gonna have an ad group for Bellevue. So auto detailing Bellevue. You could split it out into different ad groups. So you could do auto detailing geographic keywords, but in this case, it's all just Bellevue. So I'm just gonna drop them in the same ad group there. And again, we have mobile car detailing Bellevue. So I'm hoping this is kind of starting to make a bit of sense. The whole idea, again, ad groups are going to be themes, and you're going to take these different keyword themes and we're going to group them into these kind of buckets like this. And then each one of these buckets is going to make up an ad group. And then within those ad groups, you're going to have ads, and those ads are going to speak directly to if somebody types in auto detailing near me. In that ad group, you want to have an ad that says, hey, do you need an auto detailing service? If somebody types in mobile auto detailing, you want to show them an ad that says mobile auto detailing. If somebody types in auto detailing Bellevue, you want to have an ad that says, hey, we do detailing at Bellevue. So again, this might be a little bit confusing right now, but just keep going through these keywords, keep building this list, and find different themes like this that you can group the keywords into. And then once this is all done, we're going to go back to our account and we're going to start creating our ad groups. I'm not going to create lists for all of these. I'm just going to kind of keep it to these for now. But you're going to find a lot more keywords than this. Keep going. Don't go overboard with it. You're going to, probably be fine just starting with like 100 keywords. I see some people, they have like hundreds and hundreds of keywords. You don't need to go that far. Just go ahead, start with a handful of keywords, 100 roughly, because a lot of your budget, it's not going to hit all those keywords. So keep going through the tool, grab your keywords, and then once you have them grouped up like this on a spreadsheet, we're going to jump back over to the campaign, and we are going to start taking these and then creating our ad groups from there. All right, so you should have a keyword list together. Again, this is a very simplified keyword list. You should have more keywords on yours, and I'd also recommend going into more of these ad groups to build kind of keyword themes out. Have more geographic ad groups. You can throw in ceramic coating, all that kind of stuff. But you should have a keyword list together. It should look something like this. Next thing I want to cover before we actually kind of start building those ad groups is I want to go back to that idea of match types and kind of go over a little bit more. So there's 3 different types of match types. The first one's broad match, and I should have mentioned this before, but broad match you pretty much just want to avoid. What broad match is going to do is it is going to show your ad for things loosely related to that keyword that you put in there. They say comprehensive matching. There's a lot of vague definitions here, but long story short, if you put in the keyword auto detailing near me or auto detailing service, something like that, it could show your ad for a wide range of things. Anything kind of related to automotive, it could show your ad for. It could show your ad for mechanics near me, how to repair a paint chip, like all that kind of stuff. Broad match will show your ad for. So as a rule of thumb, I just avoid broad match right off the bat, and I only focus on phrase match and exact match. And phrase match has even gotten a little bit more loose over the past year. So you really just want to keep an eye on things with your account, monitor the search traffic coming through. But with phrase match and exact match, really what it used to mean is phrase match would show your ads for a specific phrase. Exact match would show your ads for a specific keyword. But now it's really just how wide do you want Google to cast a net? And phrase match kind of opened things up a little bit. You can see this example. If you're bidding on lawn mowing service, it could show lawn mowing service near me, hire company to mow lawn, landscaping service to cut grass. It's a little bit more loose, but it's at least within the same theme that you're looking to bid on. And then exact match tries to get it as close as possible, but it does allow some wiggle room. So lawn mowing service, or grass cutting service is what it could show for. Obviously, there's other variations of that, but that's kind of the idea is you want to add these in so you're kind of constraining Google and not letting them go wild with where they're showing your ads, what searches they're showing your ads for. So now that we have that out of the way, what we're going to do is we are going to start actually wrapping these keywords in match types. I'm going to show you a tool that makes it really, really easy. Pretty much what I do is I go through here, I just copy my keywords, and then I go to this website right here, adwordswrapper.com. And you're going to hit it, and there's going to be a bunch of ads. You scroll down, you're going to see this right here. And what I do, again, I copy that, come over here, paste it in, just hit wrap keywords. And it's going to take you to another page where you can scroll down, and it has all different combinations of the match type wrapping on the keywords. So I just come down to phrase and exact, copy them there. And then once you have copied that, we're going to jump over to an account and then actually start pasting them into the ad groups. So once you're back in your account, you can take those keywords, start building out your ad groups. So you want to select your campaign, go over here, select ad groups, and then you should see a little blue plus sign right here. Just hit that, create ad group, and it will load up and pull up eventually. You're going to see a page that looks something like this. And you're just going to name your ad group whatever that keyword theme is. So we were doing auto detailing. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to copy them, come over here. I will just call this the auto detailing ad group. And then down here under keywords, you just want to paste in all those keywords. So you see I have pretty much the same keyword, but in both match types, phrase and exact, got all my keywords. And then you're just going to hit save and continue. And then next thing it's going to want you to do is create ads. But what we're going to do for the time being is we are going to just do this later. So I'm going to hit cancel on that, and we're going to hit save and continue, because what I want to do is I just want to get all of my ad groups built out, get my keywords in the ad groups, then we'll go ad group by ad group and just build the ads for those ad groups. So let's do one more. I'm not going to do all these because I don't want to bore you to death, but just do the same process again. Car detailing. Come over here to AdWords Wrapper. Might be a little cut off here, so let me bring that up. Paste those in there. No, we don't want wrap negative keywords. We want wrap normal keywords. So right here, paste those in there, wrap the keywords, come down here on my phrase and exact keywords, copy those, bring it back here, same process, select the campaign, go to ad groups, hit the blue plus, and this ad group is going to be the car detailing ad group. Car detailing, and then we're going to drop all of our car detailing keywords in there, save and continue. And then again, we're just going to scroll down, cancel this for now, save and continue. And as you build this out, you're going to start to see the structure come together. You're going to see all of these different ad groups that have specific keyword themes. And this is very, very, very important, is every single one of these ad groups, you only want to have keywords in each of those ad groups that speak directly to that keyword theme. Because in each one of these ad groups, the ads that we're going to show those people are going to be specifically around what they're searching. So in our car detailing ad group, we have our car detailing keywords. So car detailing services, car detailing near me, all that kind of stuff. And then the ads that we're going to create in just a little bit are going to be specific to those keywords. So we don't want to show people searching car detailing ads about paint correction or ceramic coating or truck detailing. It needs to speak specifically to car detailing. And then when they hit the landing page, they are going to see car detailing or auto detailing, whatever it might be. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to build the other ad groups. And then after that, we are going to cover negative keywords before we get into making the ads. So before we get to the ads, there's one last really, really important thing we need to cover when it comes to keywords, and that is negative keywords. If you do not have negative keywords on your campaign, you're going to have your ads showing for a lot of random stuff. So even though we try to control things with the match types and all that, we still need to add negative keywords in, because if we don't have them, our ads are just not going to work as well as they could. So essentially what negative keywords are, they are the opposite of keywords. You're telling Google the things that you don't want to show up for. So we want to have really as many negative keywords as we can find. And as you're going forward and you're running the campaign, you can find more negative keywords. But before you launch a campaign, I highly, highly recommend building a list of negative keywords. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that really quickly. But a few different ways you can find them. So number one, just like doing the keyword research, you can find negative keywords in the keyword planner. If there's any national brands you can think of. So just off the top of my head, you have brands like Armor All. So you don't want to show up for that. Meguiar's, Mothers, like all those kind of brands that could be detailing products. You don't want to show up for that. YouTube channels and influencers. So some things that I've seen come through on campaigns. There's a bigger YouTuber, Chris Fix. I know he has a handful of videos about detailing. I've seen people just Google Chris Fix auto detailing, and you don't want to show up for that because that's somebody looking for his channel. And then on top of that, you want to build a list of all of your local competitors, put in their brand names so that way you're not showing up for them. So let me hop over to another window and I'll show you how to find some negative keywords. So the first thing we are going to look through is the keyword planner. Going through this, as you can see right here, there are 2,200 keyword ideas available. You don't need to go through all of them, but just taking some time, and I know this is really tedious, but taking some time going through this is going to help a ton with cutting out garbage traffic that you don't want to show up for. So right off the bat, you can see right here, car detailing, or sorry, not car detailing. We definitely want to show up for car detailing. Hand car wash near me. We don't want to show up for that. So usually what I do is I will take the full keyword, hand car wash near me, go back over to your spreadsheet, you got your keywords tab. I also put a negative keywords tab here. I'm just going to drop that in there, but I also want to take just hand car wash. That we don't want to show up for because that's somebody that's just looking for, $30, $35 car wash. You don't want to show up for that. So negative out, hand car wash. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of what you should be looking for. So hand car wash, full service car wash, I would probably also negative that out. So I'm going to bring that over to the list. Full service car wash, and then I'll also go full service car wash. In some cases, I will just completely negative out car wash. I know that might negate some, car wash and detailing searches, but I'd rather just not show up for anything car wash related. So mobile detailing, that's all good. Car cleaning, a little vague. I just probably would leave that out, not bid on it. Hand car wash, that should be over there. Yep, hand car wash, we don't want to show up for that. Full service car wash, that should be over there. Yep. And we're just going to keep going. Car shampoo. So this one, it's a little vague. So probably what I would do is I would probably negative this out, because you don't know the intent behind it. So with this, I don't know if somebody's looking for like interior detailers or they're just looking for a product. So I'm just going to straight up negative out car shampoo. That's a little bit too vague for me. Let's see. I'm just going to do this a little bit longer. In and out car wash. I would add that. And I'd probably also add in and out, because I'm assuming that is a brand. Detail shop, auto detail, complete car detailing, best car detailing, car wax polish. So again, this is sounding like a product. So car wax polish, I'm going to drop that into the negative, and you kind of start to get the idea. Here we go. Here's a brand. So Torque Detail Ceramic Shine. I would probably negative out the brand Torque. So that just kind of catches all of those searches, and then probably also Torque Detail. And then just for good measure, grab that entire thing. So that's the keyword planner. As you can see, there's even more coming through. New finish. You don't want to show up for new finish again. So go through the keyword planner. That's one good way to find negatives. Another good way is I just have Google Maps opened up right now. So this is where you're going to go through your local area, find competitors. And what I will do is I will just negative out their brand names if possible. There's somewhere it kind of like doesn't make as much sense, but just going through some of these, Lux Washington, I'm assuming that's what it is, but you can just come over here and just go Luxwa. It's a funny thing to to type, but negative that out. Premier Mobile Detailing, I would probably negative that out, because usually people aren't searching for like Premier Mobile Detailing as a search term, so I would negative that out. Super Shine, I would negative that out. So if I'm looking at that particular brand, Super Shine Auto Detailing, I'd probably negative Super Shine, and then also Super Shine Auto Detailing. And then going through Mind and Body, negative that out. Diamond Fox, negative that out. Final Finish, negative that out. So you're just going to go through this, go through all the competitors, and then just add their brand name in his negative keywords. That's super, super important, because you don't want people calling you looking for a competitor, because if they're looking for a competitor, it's going to be a lot harder to convert that person to business if they're not really looking for you specifically. So those are a couple ways that you can do this. And then like I mentioned on the other list, if there are any national brands, so again, I mentioned, McGuire's, Armor All those kind of businesses, and then also other things outside of that, like AutoZone, other kind of stores and things like that, and then other YouTubers and influencers that you can think of. Add those to the negative keyword list. You want it to be longer than this, and then as you run the campaign, you're going to find more things coming in. I cover that in another video that I'm going to link below about like optimization and all that kind of stuff. But go through that, go through the keyword planner, go through your competitors, use some of those other ideas, build a negative keyword list, and then what we're going to do is very, very similar to the keyword list. We're going to drop these in as negatives. So once you're done putting it together, you just want to copy it. And it really depends with the match type when it comes to negatives. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap them all as phrase. That's kind of like the safest way that I've found to do it. You can do, like, there's match types with negative. You can do them as exact, and Google will very literally not show your ad for, if you do like full service car wash near me, it will not show your ad for that. But generally, if you do them as phrase only, you should be fine. So take your negatives, put them in there, and then I just come down here. You have phrase match. We can go like this. We can copy it. And then what we're going to do, once we have that negative keyword list together, we're going to come back to our account. I'm just going to go back. We're going to go back to our campaign. And then just by selecting the campaign, this is selecting the campaign level. I'm going to come down to keywords. We're going to go to negative keywords right here. And then just like search keywords, you're going to have a little blue plus. You're going to add your negatives, and I usually make sure it's at the campaign level. I'm not going to go down the weeds of like doing it at the ad group level, but for the time being, it's fine to just do it at the campaign level. It should kind of blanket all of the stuff that you don't want to be showing up for. So you just go campaign level, drop your negative keywords in there, hit save, and then it's probably not going to refresh immediately. Let's see if it dropped all those in there. Go back to your campaign, negative keywords, and then we should be good. It's just taking a little time. Yeah, so we're good there. So take your negative keyword list, again, make it longer than this. There's going to be a lot more negatives that you're going to find, but make sure you take the time to do this, because if you have people clicking on your ads looking for like products or detailing kits or car wash or auto mechanic or whatever the heck it might be, make sure you add those in. And then also another thing that I should mention right now is if you go to Google and you just search common list of Google Ads negative keywords, you're going to have a ton of these types of sites. And I would definitely recommend going through these and then pulling some of these negatives as well. A lot of these are good just to drop in there, just to blanket other things. So pull from these sites as well. You don't have to come up with them off the top of your head. I already have a list that I've built over like, the years, just sort of adding all these up. But go to those sites, grab negatives from there. And then now that you have your negatives in there, we are going to transition to actually creating ads, and we'll go through that whole process now. All right, so now it is time to start putting together our ads. So I'm over in the campaign level here. I'm just looking at the ad groups, and I'm just gonna do one and just kind of show you how it kind of works and what you wanna do with it, and I'll let you kind of take it and run with it. So I'm just gonna go into the car detailing ad group. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on the ad group. So I've got it selected here, go up here to ads and assets, and then make sure ads is selected right here. And then you just wanna hit this little plus sign, and then hit responsive search ad. So we are going, this is pretty much all we can make at this point, is responsive search ads or call only ads. I would recommend just doing responsive search ads. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of them. And I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch me like type out headlines and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go through it, kind of let you know what you need to set up. And then once we have our ads set up, we're gonna go through another important thing after this, which is creating what are now called assets. They used to be called extensions. And that's going to help things out. So I'm gonna let this load, and then we'll get going with the ads. All right, so it finally loaded. Now this is what it looks like when you're putting together a responsive search ad. So first thing right here, the final URL, this is where somebody's going after they click on your ad. So what you want to put in here is you want to put in your landing page. So I'm just going to put, So I'm just going to put my little URL there, and then display path. This is not where somebody's going, but you see this little domain right here under the business name. You are going to be able to put keywords in here. So what I recommend, being that this is the car detailing ad group, I'm just going to put in something like just car/detailing, and it should update right here, and you should see it. Yeah, so you got car detailing. So the reason, again, why this is important, because we're in the car detailing ad group, we want our ads to speak directly to those keywords. So somebody's typing car detailing near me, your ads want to specifically say car detailing. So another way you could do this is a car detailing, and then, we're targeting Bellevue, so you could do Bellevue, something like that. So you have the keyword and the location. It looks like it might not fit there. It might be too many characters, but at the very least, you can just do car detailing, so you get the keywords in there. And then what you want to do, you have all your headlines here. Before we fill these out, what you want to do is you want to come down here, go to this little plus sign, and just open all of these up. Because what a responsive search ad is going to do is you're going to put in all of these headlines, and then you're also going to put in descriptions. And what Google's going to do is they're going to swap in different headlines, and they're going to do a lot of the testing on their end. It used to be that you could just do simple, text ads where you'd have a few headlines. Now can't do that anymore. And what Google is going to do is they're going to swap in all these headlines, swap in different descriptions, and they're going to see which combination gets the best click-through rate, gets the best conversion rate, and they're going to do a lot of that testing on their end. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go through all of these headlines and fill out different variations. I'm going to do a few while I'm recording, then I'm going to pause and I'm going to fill everything out and then go from there. Same thing with the descriptions. You want to have different unique descriptions, create 4 of them. And yeah, so what I will do is I'm going to go through a few headlines. Like I said, I'm going to pause it and then fill it out and then come back. So first thing I usually do, so I kind of break it up into a few different categories. You're going to have your keyword-based headlines. So you want to have keyword headlines that is just something like, mobile car detailing service or something like that, because you want to have that keyword in the headline. So you're going to have keyword-based headlines. It could be number 1 rated mobile car detailing, something like that. And then on top of keyword related headlines, you want to have other headlines that are calls to action. So for example, it could be call today for a free quote, something like that. Let's see, call today for a free quote, book your detail online today, something like that. And you want to have keyword related headlines, calls to action, and then also you can put in little differentiators, things that might be unique to you. It could be something along the lines of we use eco-friendly products, or 5-star rated and reviewed, things like that. So have a combination of those few different types of headlines where you have your keyword. You definitely want to have the keyword in some of the headlines, have your calls to action, have differentiators, benefits, things like that, and try to make it unique to you. You're going to be able to speak the best to your business. And for the headlines, you want to go through all of these, fill all of them out. And then the same thing for the descriptions. So the descriptions, again, can be more calls to action. It can be a little bit more about the business. It can be things like, we detail cars, trucks, SUVs, if you do RVs, and much more. And then one thing also to keep in mind, don't put free, don't put all caps in the ads. Google is going to flag you. Don't put a bunch of exclamation points. Keep it very neutral, because if you do that, if you put spammy stuff in the ads, Google will flag it, and they're not going to suspend your account, but they're going to pretty much disapprove your ad. So, we detail cars, trucks, SUVs, RVs, and much more. Call today for a free quote, something like that. And you can see the little character thing down here. If I was sitting down and actually writing ads for an account, I would want to make the most of this space, because you have 12 more characters you could use. So there's ways that you can kind of tweak it. You're going to have to kind of spend some time and do that on your end. But, that's one description. And then you could do another one, will make your car look showroom new. And then maybe talk a little bit about the services, wash and wax, ceramic coating, paint protection, and no, run out of characters. I'll just kind of leave it at this. And correction. No, there we go. So yeah, you kind of get the idea. You want to go through all of these, fill out all of these headlines, fill out all these descriptions, and then once you're done with that, you're going to come down here, hit save ad, and it's going to go through an approval process. So once you've hit save, this is going to load up, and you are going to see this status not eligible. Obviously the campaign's paused, but it's going to be reviewing the ad, and yeah, so Once that's done, this is again going to sound like a lot of work, but I recommend doing it. Make another ad within this ad group. So every single ad group, you want to pretty much start with 2 ads and make sure that they're different. If you have the same ad, Google's just going to get confused. The whole reason why we want to make 2 ads per ad group is we're going to split test and see which ad works better. And you can't really do that if you're only doing 1 ad. So the whole idea is you want to continuously try to improve the ad, continually try to improve the performance. So once you have that first ad done, you're going to go back, hit the plus, make another ad. And again, just to kind of, before we move on to going through assets and all that kind of stuff, it's really, really important to remember relevance. You need to make sure that, again, going back to car detailing, we've got our car detailing keywords. So somebody searching car detailing near me is going to show your ads. Then the ads that you're showing those people searching for car detailing need to talk about car detailing. And then once they click this ad, it's going to send them to a landing page. And on the landing page, it needs to talk about car detailing. So it's all just, you need to have relevance at every single step in that process to make this work. If they're clicking on car detailing and you are exclusively talking about ceramic coating on the landing page, it's going to confuse somebody and it's going to kind of break the process. It's not going to work as well. Same thing with if you're bidding on car detailing keywords and this ad says ceramic coating, you're not going to get as many people clicking on your ads. They're just going to be confused, and you need to kind of keep this in mind. So do another ad for this particular ad group, and then go through all of your ad groups and do 2 ads in each ad group. It's going to take a little while. That's why I'm not going to do this all on camera. So go ahead, do that for yourself. And then once you're done with the ads, we're going to go through assets and then go over what those are and how to set those up. All right, so now that you have your ads built out, we are going to put the kind of final touches on things. We're going to put our assets together, and these are going to help with your ads just kind of get better click-through rate, because what happens is you create these assets and they take up more space on Google. So these site links and call out and structured snippet, I'll walk through them, but it's going to give you additional things you can add onto your ad that, again, will take up more space, help your ads stand out. And when it comes to getting clicks, having these assets is super important because it's going to give you that little bit of extra boost to try and get a handful more clicks and kind of boost up your click-through rate. So in order to get here, you're going to go to the campaign level, going to go to ads and assets, go to assets, and you're going to see something like this. So I'm going to add these to the campaign level of the account. You can do them at the ad group level, but for the time being, I'm just doing campaign level. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what I think are the most important ones. And yeah, I'm not going to like build them out live or anything like that. But first things first, we're going to talk about site links. So you just click site link, hit add. And what you're going to do here is you're able to put a little site link text. And I might just do, request a free estimate, something like that. And then you can kind of get creative with these. The one thing to keep in mind is right here, you see the site link text. You can do a description if you want. I usually don't do a description, but you can drop the final URL here. So these are literally just links to other pages. The only caveat with these is that you have to have different URLs for every site link. So I'll just do 4 site links. And then the first one will be a link to the landing page. And then what I'll do is I'll take the landing page and duplicate it and then create another URL. So it could be the exact same page, but with a different URL. And that way you can put in site links that just link straight to the landing page. That said, if you do also have a landing page for ceramic coating or something like that, you can drop the URL to that landing page for ceramic coating. So if somebody sees your ad and they say, oh, I want ceramic coating, they can click on that, and then it'll take them directly to the ceramic coating landing page. So that's site links. And again, it's really, really important for kind of taking up more space, getting your ad kind of more visually appealing, I guess you could say, to get more click-through, better click-through rate. So that's site link. And then call out, it's kind of similar, but it's just, there's no links. So it's going to add little bits of text to your ad there. So you see you have description 1, description 2, and then call outs are just added little things you can put on the ad. So these could be calls to action. They could be benefit points. You could drop in things, again, kind of talking about the eco-friendly products, professional staff, and this is something you can test. These are not like end all be all things that you need to add in. Make it unique to you. You can also drop in, like I said, calls to actions, call for a free estimate. So play around with it. But this is another thing you want to add. It'll tack these onto your ads and again, take up some more space on the search results. So that's call out, and then structured snippet is a way that you can add in essentially there's a lot of different options here, but this kind of like, you have this header right here, that is this right here, this drop down. So you're going to select a drop down, and in this case, we'll probably just go with types, and then you can add in, let's say, the types of vehicles that you detail. So it could be cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, whatever it might be. So that is the structured snippet extension. We'll just go back, and then this one right here is probably the most important, the call extension. So what this is going to do, this is just going to put a phone number on your ad. So if somebody sees your ad on like their mobile phone, on desktop, whatever, it'll put a phone number on the ad itself. And right here, you're just going to drop in whatever your particular phone number is. So if it's on mobile, it'll look something like this. And this is super, super important, because this is just like a free way to get more leads from the ad, because people don't have to click through to your landing page. They can just call this phone number that's on the ad right here. And on every account that I do, obviously every market is going to be a little bit different, but you're going to get a handful more leads every single month just by putting this phone number on your ad. And it's super, super important. So make sure you set this extension up. And then the other ones we need to talk about is location. So if you have a Google business page set up, you can hit location, you just hit this plus sign. And then what you can do is you can link up a business profile to your ads. And what'll happen is pretty similar to the call extension. So I'll just kind of pull this up so you can see. It'll drop a little location thing down here. And again, it's just another way to take up a little bit more space, make yourself look like a local business. And then one last thing that isn't on this, because this is kind of an older account, you will also sometimes see image extension. It should show up under legacy. Pretty much what that is, you can just upload images to the account. They'll show next to the ad, and that's another really good way to kind of take up some more space, make your ad a little bit more visually appealing. And yeah, so that is the assets. Now we'll move on to the next step. All right, so we are pretty much almost done. There's a couple other things that I want to cover before you actually turn your campaign on. So select the campaign level up here. If we come down here and we go into devices right here, this is going to show you where, what devices your ads are showing on. As a rule of thumb, what I always recommend doing, it's not 100% required, but I definitely recommend doing, is you have tablets right here. Pretty much I always exclude tablets from my campaigns. So if you just go to tablets, you see this bid adjustment column. This is going to, and I cover this in more depth in another video going over optimization, which I'll link in the description below. But this is going to allow you to tell Google how much to increase the bids or decrease the bids based on a particular device. So in order to remove tablets, you just go to bid adjustments, hit the little pencil, then we're gonna go to decrease, and then we're just gonna type in 100%. So that is going to completely exclude tablets from here. And as your campaign gets moving, you're gonna be able to see where you're getting traffic, whether it's computer or mobile phones, how many clicks, if it's converting, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so that's one quick thing I wanted to cover before we get into really the one of the final steps before we turn everything on is you want to set up your conversion tracking. It's really simple. You just need to install a couple bits of code, and we'll cover that right now. So the last thing that you want to do with your account before you actually turn your campaigns on, like I just mentioned, is set up conversion tracking. So the reason why conversion tracking is important is it is going to allow you to see what keywords are driving leads, what ads are driving leads, and it's going to allow you to track everything. because if you're not tracking everything, you're not going to know what's working. So this is an account that I'm in the process of optimizing right now. I figured it'd be valuable to kind of show you what this looks like and why conversion tracking is important. This particular account, you see this conversion rate column right here. You can see this ad group car detailing is converting 18, this one's converting 17, this one's converting 20, but really, really importantly, this one was converting 0. So with that data, you can start to make changes, optimize things, trim out things that aren't working. And I just kind of noticed this was not working, so I made some changes to cut out that traffic. So again, this one is in the process of being optimized. So this will eventually be up over 20%. As you get more data, you're able to figure out what keywords are working, the ads, all that kind of stuff. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to link a whole like optimization video down below, because that is going to be a whole other process. This is really just like a campaign build tutorial. And if you want to get more in-depth info on optimization, you can hit that link in the description and it'll take you over to that video. But this is why the conversion tracking is important. You're going to be able to track leads. These are all inbound phone calls or form fills that have come into this person. And one thing you're going to notice is these cost per lead a little bit high. This is a higher end area, so the cost per click is going to be a little bit higher. And that's just kind of the nature of it. Some markets are more expensive than others, but again, without getting too sidetracked, this is the importance of conversion tracking. You need to track what's going on in your account. So to set that up, we're just going to switch back over here, select your campaign, and then you're going to come up here again, go to tools and settings, and then under measurement, you're going to see conversions. And you are most likely going to see something that looks like this. No conversion tracking setup. You want to do new conversion action, hit that. And we're going to set up 3 different types of conversion tracking. So we're going to track people who call the call extension on the ad. We're going to track people who call a phone number on the website. And then we're also going to track people that submit a form and then become a lead that way. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by tracking phone calls on the landing page. So you're just going to click here under phone calls. And then you're going to have a little option come up here. You want to click calls to a phone number on your website. Just hit that, hit continue. And we are going to just enter in a conversion name. I'll usually call it something like landing page phone calls. And then we're not going to use a value for it. This is more e-commerce related. If you know specifically what the value of that lead or that conversion is, in this case, I'm not going to set a value. You want to count 1. So that way, if somebody calls multiple times, you're only counting it once. So the phone number, I'm just going to put in a default number for now. You're obviously going to put in your phone number, and this should be how it is displayed on your landing page. So make sure you have the exact phone number in there. Call length, this can be up to you. I will usually set something like 30 seconds or something like that, because if somebody calls and let's say you don't answer the phone, that is still a lead. So I'll just drop in something like 25 seconds, but again, you can do whatever you want. And then everything else here should be fine. Just hit save and continue. That is an invalid phone number. So in this case, I'm going to put in my phone number and then hit save, and then obviously put in your phone number, and then I will cut to the next step. All right, so I've put in my number, and you're going to see something like this. So it might seem a little daunting because it is just like code that you have to copy and paste, but it's really not that bad. So you just go to install the tag yourself. And then the first thing you're going to see here, this is your global kind of site tag that you need to put on every single page of your website. So if you're using a landing page builder, it's going to be super easy. Just go to the options, and then you need to copy this tag. You just click it, go to copy. You're going to take this tag and you're going to paste it in the head. So there's these little head tags right here that you're going to see within the options of your landing page builder. If you do have somebody running a website, you can just send it to them, but you take this and you want to put this on every single page, every single landing page that you have. So this needs to be in the head of every single page. And then you need to take this script as well. Again, you want to copy this, and then you want to put this on every single page of your website as well, or your landing page or whatever, because what this is going to allow you to do is going to swap in a tracking number that Google is going to be able to track as a conversion. So it's going to take your specific phone number and it's going to swap in a Google tracking number. So when somebody calls it, it's going to log as a conversion on their end. So once you have that installed, so hit next, hit done, and you should be good with that. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to create a call extension conversion action. I'm probably not going to be able to walk through this just because I don't have a call extension actually set up. Same process though, you just hit phone calls, calls from ads using call extension or call only ads, hit that, and then you just come down here, go to continue, and it's very simple. Just put in your conversion name, don't use a value 1, and then pretty much what needs to happen is in order for this to get set up, you need to have that call extension asset created. So make sure you create that first and then come up here and then create this conversion action so you can actually log those phone calls as conversions. So there's the call extension conversion action, and then the last one we want to talk about is the website conversion action. So I'll jump over to the landing page and kind of walk you through it really quick. All right, so for the form fill conversion action, so when somebody comes to this page, they fill out this form, the way you track it as a conversion, and I probably should have mentioned this before, you want to set up what is called a thank you page. So what's going to happen, somebody's going to hit this page, they're going to fill out this form, they're going to submit their information, and then what you want to have happen is you want them to be redirected to another page on your website, your landing page build, or whatever it might be, that's called a thank you page. So depending on what you build on, there should be a very simple option to just set a redirect URL. And what you can do is you can just make it whatever yourdomain.com/thanks. So when somebody fills out this form, they're going to get sent to a page that looks something like this. This is the one for my own website. But what's going to happen is you're going to say, hey, thanks for reaching out to us. Maybe have a little blurb about, we'll reach out to you once we see it, and we'll, be in touch within the same business day, whatever it might be. But one thing you can do on the thank you page is right down here, I'll put like something that says, if you want to speak to somebody sooner, just call this phone number. So I always put a phone number on the thank you page because sometimes what can happen, people can submit a form, they hit the thank you page, and then they say, I'd prefer to just speak to somebody. So put the phone number there. You can get a few more calls that way every single month just by putting that on the thank you page. And what you're going to do is we are going to do something very similar to the call tracking. Is once you have this thank you page set up, you want to install a little piece of code on this particular page, because what's going to happen is somebody's going to hit the page, they're going to fill out this form, they're going to get redirected to the thank you page, and then you want to take this little piece of code and then put it on the thank you page, because what's going to happen is it is going to fire when somebody hits this page, and Google is going to log that as conversion. So the only way people are hitting this page is if somebody fills out the form, submits it, and then they get sent here. So I'm going to go through really quickly how to get that code, and then you're just going to take it and then install it specifically on this page. All right, to get the code for the website conversion action, you're just going to come back to this page, hit website over here, and then you're going to have to put in your domain. So I'm just going to put in mine, and then you're just going to hit scan, and it's just going to scan for any conversion actions that are already set up. And since you already set up the initial kind of global site tag from the phone call tracking step, you're not going to have to do that here, but you're going to hit a page like this, and then I always scroll down, and then I want to create a conversion manually using code. Just hit add conversion manually. You're going to select a category right here, and I always come down here, hit submit lead form, and don't worry about this, come down here, and I will usually call it something like landing page form submissions. Same idea here, don't use a value, and then count 1. So that way if somebody submits multiple forms, you're not getting a bunch of leads counted. So you only want to count 1, and then all of this is fine. Hit done, and then you're going to see this pop up here, and then you can just hit save and continue. And from here, you're going to be able to get instructions and kind of finish things up. So if, like I said, we should have the Google tag already set up. If you did not set it up in the phone call step, just hit the setup button. It'll walk you through getting that code that you can paste onto your website. So right here, you have the actual event code. So you see submit lead form, and then right here you're going to see event snippet. Just click on that, and you want to make sure this is set to page load. So what's going to happen is when the page loads, the thank you page loads, it's going to fire this code, and it's going to send essentially a message back to Google Ads and let Google Ads know, hey, somebody became a lead. So same thing as the phone call stuff. You want to take this, copy, and then go to your thank you page and then post it exactly the same in the head tag of the page. So that way when somebody hits that page and this code fires, it's going to send a message back to Google letting Google know there was a lead. So take this, paste it on your page. Once you're done with that, you can close that out, hit done, and then you should have all of your conversion actions set up. And that is pretty much it. So we're going to round out a couple more things before we finish up. And yeah. So if you made it this far in the video, first off, congratulations, because you've made it quite a long way into this video. But if you made it this far, there's a pretty good chance that your account is ready to go. So before I turn a campaign on, I'll usually go through, just make sure everything's there, go into your ad groups, make sure you have the right match types on your keywords, that you have good high intent keywords in your ad groups. Make sure you've got your negative keywords in there. And then when it comes to your ads, make sure you've got them all filled out and make sure that it is going to a landing page. And if you have all of that set up and it's like that in every single one of your ad groups, then you should be good to go. So in order to turn the campaign on, what you want to do is just come up here to, you'll most likely see something that says view all one campaigns or something like that. Just hit that, go to campaigns, and then it'll pull up your campaigns here. And I gotta find it. So just go here. You want to hit this little drop down, hit enable, and then your campaign is going to start running. Now, that said, there's still more that goes into it. It would be awesome if you could just turn a campaign on and you just start making a bunch of money. I'm going to go over really quickly what to do once your campaign is turned on, because unfortunately, Google Ads is not a set it and forget it kind of platform. There is going to be a process that goes on after you turn them on. And I'm not going to go through that step by step in this video because it would make this like a 2.5 hour long video. So I'm going to point you towards another video that I have that you can go through once you start getting data coming through the account. But at this point, your ads should be on, things should be running. And once it kind of goes through its approval process, you should start to see some traffic coming in. But let me hop back to the presentation. We'll cover a couple more things, go over optimization, and then you'll be good to go. So this brings us to the final step in the process. Now it is optimization. So once you turn the campaign on, you're going to be continually optimizing the campaign, trimming things out that don't work. And optimization is not a one-time thing. You don't do it 1 week. You don't do it for 1 month. You do it ongoing for the entire length of the campaign because you want to make sure it is continually bringing you leads at a good cost. So what is optimization? Really what it comes down to, it is you want to look at the data, the clicks, the click-through rate, conversions, all that kind of stuff. Look at the data coming through your account, and then you want to trim out what doesn't work and do more of what does. So these can be things like adding more keywords, bringing in more negative keywords to the account, removing keywords that aren't converting, adding or removing ads, adjusting your bids on your devices, locations, ad schedule, all that kind of stuff. And there's so much more you can do, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of that. I have a video all about it, a very, very blurry thumbnail here, obviously, but I'm going to link this down in the description. I have a whole optimization checklist video that you can go through and see some of the different optimizations I do on a weekly basis. I explain it in more depth, and there's so much more that you can gather from that video. So again, that's going to be linked down below, and that you can use that as a reference for when your campaign's running, and just kind of check in on it as your campaign is going forward. So that is it for this video. I know that ran on for a very long time, but I wanted to make sure that I covered everything in the process, and I hope you got some value out of it. And if you have any questions, obviously drop them in the comments below and I can get to them. So any resources from this video, I'm going to link in the description below. And if you are an auto detailer or you own a detailing shop and you want to run a campaign like this for you, in the description below, there's going to be a link for a consultation. You can apply there, and then I can reach out to you to see if there's a good fit. Outside of that, I hope you at least enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if there's anything else you want to see, drop it in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video.